The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Need a show about outdoor living? This is where it's at. With your hosts, Shane Chapman and Way Laurent. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah. The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Let's go.
Yeah. It's been on my list of things to do to change that intro for a while.
We got a few things to change.
I'll get there,
eventually.
Talk about the weather. Do you want to talk about the weather for a moment?
Yeah, as I age, I find talking about the weather to be very riveting.
I thought that I saw, it was actually, he's in here. TC Dex is on the live Instagram stream right now. I believe it was him that posted that it was like 55 degrees yesterday in Utah.
Okay.
So that's nice. What's that in Celsius?
In communist degrees.
Like in the teens somewhere? It was like +9 yesterday here. So we might not have been like quite as warm, but definitely well into the zeros.
55
well into the
Fahrenheit
positives.
to
Snow
Celsius.
was melting. What snow we have left was
12
melting.
degrees Celsius.
12. So it was 12 there, 9 here.
Same,
so very
same.
similar. Sunny again today. 8 degrees out there today.
It's
It's just
wild.
gorgeous. It's February.
It's incredible.
For those not from Saskatchewan, normally at this time of year, it's probably about -20 out there.
Yeah, this is that stretch where no one goes outside.
Right. There was a February a couple years ago where it was like -40 for a month.
Ugh.
The whole February was just like
Yeah. They called it Blue February.
bone chilling. Like you just didn't go outside.
You did.
How are you, Wade?
Really good. I got my hair cut today.
You did get your hair. We both did, actually.
Yeah, you
got our
did.
hair dids. We got a big date tonight, you and I.
Yep. We're going to dress up and everything.
Heading over to well, you might. I'm going to.
Nah, you'll be not wearing a hoodie.
Yeah, that's true. Dressing up for me, that's for sure. I tend to just veer towards the minimum requirement on dressing up.
Mm-hmm.
So you had me fooled. We're going to an event tonight called the Inauguration Dinner. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And on the invitation thing, it's like black event. It doesn't say black tie event. It
Does
just
not
says
say
like
black
a
tie.
black night or whatever. It's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And here I was like, well, that sounds pretty formal. I was like, I have to dig out the suit, and I was dreading it because I don't know when the last time is that I put my suit on. I only got one. And then like 2 days ago, you're like, no, it said it was semi-formal. And then I was like, I'm in again.
Yeah.
All good to go.
You were in the whole time, whether you knew it or
If
not.
I can sport coat and sneaker it, I'm in.
Bought
I'm in
those
more than I
tickets.
was.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. What are you doing? You were suiting it.
I'm
You
going to
gotta
wear
suit
full
it,
suit.
though.
I like wearing suits, man.
Jeez.
I like wearing suits.
That's okay. It's like you got to have some contrast, right? We're both there representing the Ultimate Deck Shop. It's at the Regina Chamber of Commerce, we should say. People are like, what's the event? It's for the Chamber of Commerce in Regina. Saskatoon's got some events coming up as well that we're going to get to there. I don't know if we've booked anything formally, but
Not so far.
Regina's is tonight, and so we're going to go there, and so it'll be good. It'll be like, oh, this guy's all business, Wade, which is completely
Totally
like,
true.
totally
Totally
true. Yeah, he's Mr. Prim and Proper. And then they'll be like, this guy, oh, look at this guy. He thinks he's 17, and that'll be me, and totally true as well.
Totally true.
So, anyway, that should be fun. What's up, gents? Says Start Wood Right. He changed his name recently on there, hey? I guess he's been that for a little bit, but
Yeah.
Scott from Texas, USMC 2513. Look who it is. Enough of you guys. We're going to get on to the topic, which is because the weather's so bloody nice out there.
I have a different story I want to talk about.
Sure. Before we get there, I'll finish my iced coffee and you.
I was
tell me
listening
a
to a
story.
podcast today. So do you know who Steve Ranella is?
Steve Ranella?
Yeah.
Nope.
He runs a podcast and a TV series called Meat Eater.
Okay.
So he's like a hunter, but he eats everything.
I'm in.
So he was telling a story on a podcast I was listening to recently about how grizzly bears in like the Prince of Wales Islands up by Alaska, male grizzly bears are known to eat the cubs because a result of a sow losing her cub is she goes back into estrus. So she's like now ready to have another baby. If her cub is eaten,
Wow.
she then decides, oh, I should have another cub. And the
Who
male
says chivalry's
right.
dead? Holy
I was
man.
just like, this is the craziest thing. Like,
Hopefully humans don't start to mirror that activity
I
from
think
nature.
we've evolved from that.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy, that'd be not a good situation.
Anyways, crazy stuff. So he was talking about they're getting ready to go hunting up there, bear hunting. And they're talking about flying in, being dropped off, and they will walk around on these islands where they believe no one has set foot in like thousands of years. It's just like super hard to get to, as like nobody drives there. There's no roads.
Well, what are they doing?
They're going to fly there. and then they're going to
a
walk.
Helicopter.
Yep. Or a plane and land on the water and then get out and just hike.
So why do they believe nobody's been there for thousands of, what do you say, years?
Like where he intends to walk to. Like Steve is organizing this hunt with a bunch of guys and like Rogan's one of them. So it has to be like, you probably have to pass a physical to get invited.
Like at first this sounds like a really big feat. It's like, wow, thousands of years. I think there's probably parts of this building that nobody's been to in 1,000 years. So like I could probably do some of that pretty close to home here, actually.
Yeah, it'd be much safer.
Yeah,
there's
like
a
under the sink in the.
There's a section in the yard I know no one has been to. It's full of garbage.
The place where we keep the cleaning supplies. I'm sure nobody's been there in years upon years. So,
yep.
Anyway, maybe not as impressive.
Look at this. Scott says wolves and lions do the same thing.
Wow, like how horny do you have to be, hey? To murder a lady,
I've never been
that
horny.
Murder her children, and then think she's good to go.
Yeah,
like. Are you ready now?
How fast is the bounce back time?
Okay, well, in spirit of it being incredibly gorgeous out in February, like this is spring weather we're getting right now. The melt is on. Activity in the stores is absolutely like, this is triggering it.
Alive.
Our staff have been like, absolutely people walking in now, like more than there's been for a month, all happening in a day. So things are looking up. So we thought, well, we better get on this topic because before it's too late. Topic being a bunch of reasons why you might want to get an early start on planning your deck and not wait till the weather is warm where it traditionally is warm.
Get jumping.
Don't wait till April, May, which we tell everybody every year anyway. It's like, don't wait until May long weekend to start doing your deck because then you're going to be frustrated.
Yep.
A bunch of crap's going to go wrong and you're going to run out of time and you're going to be frustrated with timelines. So here's 10 reasons why you might want to start now. Even if it wasn't beautiful outside, you might want to start now. But it is. So
just get the information. Get a sketch and a price at least.
Nobody's saying you have to build it tomorrow. But you could. You absolutely could.
You totally could.
But you don't have to. But because what people don't understand is like people always walk in on a Thursday and be like, I'm building it Saturday. It's like, all good if you've done all the planning and the work ahead of time and you're just here to pick up the materials. Right. Fine.
Do you have the list? Do you have the list?
But if you're just walking in and be like, not really sure what I want, it's not happening on Saturday.
Yeah. So
number one, beat the rush. Obviously, as
there is
soon
a
as
rush.
like we're experiencing right now, when the weather breaks,
yeah,
people all of a sudden are like, oh, right, building a deck this year or a fence or a patio, whatever else. And they rush in and you're not the only one that leaves it to the last minute. So you get this rush and then because you waited, you're in the middle of the rush, in the middle of the crowd.
It's not a good
running
place
with
to
the
be.
bulls.
Yeah.
If you're a big fan of crowds, have at it.
And waiting and being frustrated.
But if you'd rather have a little bit of time and space to make your decisions, then getting like our stores are open year round.
Yep.
So you can come in anytime and start planning your deck. Our salespeople are here. There's a good chance
we keep the knowledgeable ones around in the wintertime.
Right.
The other ones, see you later.
There's a good chance that even though people are starting to walk in now because of the weather, that it's not 10 people in here at a time. So there's a good chance you have the salesperson's full and undivided attention for as long as you need it to ask all your questions you need to ask.
We have some contractors that are still crushing it. They don't care.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Better weather conditions. So like often in February, we're not having that conversation, but right now we are. But the point of this is more like that way you can start building when the weather does break, as opposed to planning when the weather breaks. And then you're a month or two into good weather by the time you start building.
And then it's almost too hot.
Right. Plan it now, get the details done, get the quote done, get the permit in if you're going to do the permit. That way you're ready for when the weather breaks, because we know, at least here in Saskatchewan, the good weather comes somewhere between March 15th and June 15th.
It's like May 15th. Yeah.
May 15th is pretty safe too.
Yeah.
But it's like, we don't know when spring's going to show up. It's usually in April-ish. It's kind of nice enough that you might want to get outside and do it, but give or take a month. So be ready so that when the weather gets nice, you can have at it. You're not stuck starting at that point.
Yeah.
Material availability. So usually material availability is really good in the spring because that's when all the booking orders land, all the inventory is stocked really high. But it's also when it starts flying out the door really fast too. So right now, we still have lots of material on the ground. There's a bunch about to arrive. But material availability is usually a little bit better in the spring than it is after the spring rush. As soon as you get past that spring rush, sometimes you're out of something and the vendors don't have it to infill it.
Yeah, by like mid to end of June, we start running pretty lean. And then the second round of purchases show up. And then we're good like July, August, September.
Yeah. But then in the back half, you get past the midpoint of the season and we start slowing down the ordering getting ready for the impending end of the season.
Yeah.
Want to bring our inventory levels down. So it's just a little bit, you might have to wait a little bit longer to
Doomsday
get material.
prepper stuff.
Yeah. But also material availability. So let's say maybe you're not building today or tomorrow, but you want to build in May or even April.
Yeah.
Get your quote in now, convert it to an order, get that material reserved for you. So when it does land, if it's not here, it's yours. It's not like 28 people looking for the same board. And
it can also affect when we ask for material to be delivered, right? If we have people saying like, I want to put this said color on the ground, we might have said, don't bring that until April or May. But
yeah.
Anyways.
Cost savings. So here's the science behind that. I did a story. Yeah, I did a story about it this morning. Over the winter is when this industry, all the retailers, do all their inventory booking for the year. And so those are due, like a bunch of them are due today, for example. A bunch are done. Like a bunch were done before Christmas. Some are due today. Most of them will be due by the end of February at the latest. If there's going to be price changes from the vendors and the manufacturers, this is when it rolls out. It's on these new price pages. So as we're booking new material, we're updating the pricing for the coming season because the new material we're buying may be up, may not be.
We certainly think that we should be updating our pricing right now, but you're going to catch us asleep at the wheel for a few weeks here.
Yeah, that's the point of this, I guess. I'm still heavy and just like, get the purchase order placed. I'll worry about changing the pricing later. To be quite honest, I haven't noticed a lot of price increases. The ones that have been small, but there is a bit. Like lumber's up a bit, and some things are up like single digit, like maybe 5% or something like that. Some stuff isn't going up at all. So it's not one of those years where it's like buy because it's going to be insanely more expensive.
Yeah,
no, but I mean, if you're going to build the deck in a month anyway, save the 5% now. You might as well catch us before we do the price increase.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing for planning early too.
Like saving.
That's what all these things are. They're good things. That's why you plan early. It's all part of the
so good
topic of the podcast.
Planning is everything.
Any comments coming in from the thing, or we bored everybody out of their mind?
Most of them have left now.
Permit and I'm surprised you're still sitting here. Permit and approval process. This is something that people don't plan for.
Hate doing.
Most people, like a lot of people, don't plan to even get a permit, but those people that do don't understand how long that process can be sometimes. So in Saskatoon and Regina, relative to other bigger markets, it's not bad. Generally, it's 2 to 3 weeks turnaround time on those, assuming that everything goes well.
They're super quick right now.
Yeah. And absolutely, they'll be way quicker now than they are in May, because you're talking about when we get slammed in May, so does the building department.
Yeah.
Building permit department. So if you're planning on getting a permit, get the details of that in now so that if something, it takes 2 or 3 weeks, you have it by the end of February, you're still good to go if you're not planning to build to March.
Yeah, certainly there might be a place where you put your beam and they don't like it.
Right.
And now there's like some back and forth.
Exactly. And that's where 2 or 3 weeks becomes a month or two.
Yep.
So plan for that, because if you come in April and be like, I want to build my deck in middle of May, and all of a sudden there's back and forth thing that happens, and all of a sudden you have to have something moved and whatever, you have to redesign something.
See you in September.
Build in the time so you're ready to go. Yeah, exactly.
Because then your family holidays show up and you're
but
not
right now,
then.
honestly, right now, if you were to submit your permit like in the next couple of weeks, you'd probably get it back within a week, right?
Yeah.
Wait till May. It's probably 2 to 3 at best.
Yeah.
So it's just a smart thing to do. Do I need a permit? Check with your local building department. It depends. If you're in other markets, like a bigger city like Toronto, I heard nightmare stories where it takes like 6 to 8 months to get building permits.
You know what that would mean for me?
You don't get
I
one.
wouldn't play.
Yeah.
No chance. I'd be the old beg for forgiveness path.
Yeah. Sixth great thing about starting early is design and customization time. So you may not know exactly what you want to do. Maybe you need a little bit of guidance from one of our fantastic salespeople.
Like you hear that lots. People walk in, they're like, I don't know.
Most people don't.
I don't know.
Or they have an idea what they want, but functionally or even regulatorily, is that a word?
Nope.
Maybe you're not allowed to do what you want. Maybe you plan to design your deck that goes right to the fence and you're planning on pulling a permit. We can tell you like that's going to get rejected.
That's not going to work.
You have to redesign that a little bit. So come in, plan early, get it designed out so you have an idea what you want to do so that you're not surprised later with like, oh, I didn't realize that the deck boards wouldn't come in 14-foot lengths. I might as well just make it 16 feet then if I have to do that. So and you're going to change things, but change your permit application. Leave yourself some time to design. And maybe you just didn't think about some things. You're like, I want a deck that's 12 by 16 square, because that's just, you're not a visual design.
That's the creativity you have.
Right. That's not your forte. But somebody's like, well, why don't we do this and this? Because that's going to give you more space to entertain over here. And you're like, yeah, let's do that. So much can change.
You know, the other thing that's really good about
the
design process at this time of year is that, unfortunately, during the really busy season, no sales staff is interested in helping. Not like ours, not other lumber yards, because they have a stack of estimates or they have a row of people behind them. And it's like, you're not getting the best design person in the middle of the season, because they're also your salespeople, and they're like trying really hard to get this stuff done.
Yeah. A little bit harder to dedicate 40 minutes to working through design with you when there's 6 people standing in line waiting for their attention as well. Not that we don't want to, but it's just like there's pressure. I don't really know
what I want. It's like, okay, come back and see me when you do. Bye.
Yes. Yeah. Start Wood, right, just says, and that's why I don't build anymore. Yeah. Because he's in Ontario with 6 to 8 month permit times. He's like, it's like, honest to God, like we could do a whole episode on how disruptive that is to everybody involved in that process. That is so silly. Get rid of the red tape and the bureaucracy and make that process happen faster. End of rant. Mm-hmm. Paragon Landscapes on here. Loves a good. Whoa, I have my papers in the way. I can't see it.
I have it.
Loves a design conversation. Loved a design conversation. He's drinking in the middle of the day.
He did. He was drunk. Okay. I would imagine that's Jesse running that right there. I know Tony doesn't love design.
Right. Yeah. Landscape recovery. So if you're somebody who's worried about their vegetation, their grass, their plants, everything else that's around the construction area, doing it now, that stuff's all dormant right now. You're not going to hurt it right now. But as soon as spring breaks and that stuff starts to green, trampling all over it is going to set you back significantly.
Yeah.
So do it before your vegetation starts to come alive again, because it impacts it zero.
Yeah. Right now there's no effect. I was just in the backyard actually, and it's good. There's a little bit of snow back there, and the guy's got it all stomped into the grass. And
right. So if that means like zero effect when the sun comes out in April and the permafrost is gone. Not permafrost.
Otherwise it wouldn't be gone.
Where that guy's flying, that's permafrost. When the frost comes out of the ground, the grass starts to grow. It's like it's green in April.
Yep.
But if you build a deck in April and you trample all over it, it's not green till June, because you just beat the living snot out of it. It's got recovery time. So if you care, do it early. Extended enjoyment. Same reason. Build the deck now so you can use it and enjoy it in April.
May long.
And May.
Right? Everybody's like, I'm going to build a deck on May long. You know what's better?
Using a deck
Drinking a beer on May long.
Yeah. That's plus you might want to go to town, go camping in May long. Don't give yourself a job then. Do it when it's not nice enough.
Like I wouldn't, because there's an off chance it snows May long. Right?
There is. But the point being, if you build it and have it ready in April, you get to enjoy it for 6 to 8 months instead of 3 or 4 months.
Way more enjoying.
Just enjoy it. Resolving issues. So this as well, it's no surprise that
you and your wife have been scrapping all winter, and now your deck is done, and you're able to go out there and resolve some issues.
Right. I don't think that's what that means.
Oh.
But many construction projects have hiccups, surprises, things that happen that delay things or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're trying to build a deck on June 28th and you've got a wedding in your backyard on July 9th.
Oh, man.
And you go to put piles on the ground and you hit a gas line that wasn't marked properly or at all, or a buried electrical line that nobody knew was there. All of a sudden you're set back, and that becomes, I just felt the weight on my chest right there, actually, for this hypothetical person.
I was feeling it when you were like, we're going to build a deck late June. The wedding is early July. I'm like, oh, that makes me so nervous. That's not going to come. And then you were like, and then you hit a gas line, and I just about puked. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. So doing it early makes sure that there's nothing it gives you time to resolve issues before you absolutely have to have that project done.
Yeah.
If it takes an extra week or two, it's okay.
That's
because you started early enough.
Yeah.
And the last one we're going to talk about today is financial planning. So maybe you need a little bit of extra time to save up for that project. So start planning it now. Get an idea of what it's going to cost.
I was like, maybe you don't have any idea what it costs.
Right. So you might think, most people don't. Most people have no idea. They're like, I don't know. You ask them, like, what's your budget?
Because they haven't used the deck budget calculator.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if this is going to cost $5,000 or $15,000. I don't know what to expect. So get your quote. That way you have a couple months to digest it and maybe plan for some savings if you need to. To your point, our website has a fantastic tool called the Deck Budget Calculator for this exact reason, because people just don't know. It's a free tool. You just go around, play around with it. You can make different selections, fill it all out. At the bottom, it tells you right up front what the ballpark of that project is going to be. And if it gets down to the bottom and it says this is going to be $15,000 and you've got a budget of 10, then you can on the fly tweak a couple things and be like, oh, there we go. Now I've got it to 10. I can afford this one.
But if you're in the
Email
US,
it yourself. Come to us.
If you're in the US and it says 15 and your budget's 10,
you're already there.
You nailed it.
Because it's in Canadian dollars.
It's in Canadian dollars.
Yeah, it's perfect. We also offer financing options. So if the budget is 15, but you really don't want to scale it back, you're like, no, this is what I really want.
Or you don't want to outlay that much cash in one,
Right. And the financing rates through our partner are significantly better than a credit card.
Well, yeah.
So even if you don't need to finance it, you're planning on putting in your card, you might still want to finance it because it's just better rates than your credit card.
Yeah. Or go to the bank, chat with them, get a line of credit. That takes time.
But you might need some time to put something. I was watching a TikTok, I think it was. And I sent the link to you. It was a guy who's like he was a pool builder or a landscaper or something. And he's like, when I first started out, he's like, I'd go to people's houses and be like, the project is going to be $5,000. And they're like, the homeowners were like, oh yeah, okay, no problem. I'll just do that. And they're like, what? You just have $5,000 sitting in an account somewhere to do this? Like, that's crazy to me. He's like, then I was a couple years in, I was going to people and being like, it's $50,000. And they're like, okay, sounds good. Like, we'll get the money transferred over to you. And then he's like, at that stage of my life, I was like, how do people have $50,000 just set aside? And then he's like, I moved forward in my career and now I'm quoting projects that are high six-figure jobs. And people were like, yeah, no problem. I just need to, sell some stocks and move some money around and I'll get the to you. And he's like, I've just at every stage have not been able to understand how people have this money accessible. He's like, but I'm always thinking from a frame of my own reference. Yeah. When I was young and was broke, I couldn't understand how somebody could have $5,000.
Yeah.
Then when I was a little bit better off, I still couldn't understand it, but now the number is $50,000.
Yeah.
Now I'm here and I still can't understand it, but it's $150,000.
Yeah.
Stop looking at these projects from your own capacity to afford them.
Totally.
There's plenty of people that can afford projects at every budget.
Yeah.
But to that point, there may need to be a little bit of moving money around or
certainly
doing things to get the money ready, right? So make sure you plan ahead for that as well.
Absolutely.
These are all fantastic points. If people aren't rushing right now to our website to go check out the Deck Budget Calculator, to submit for a free quote and all those things, then I don't know what they're doing.
They should at least look at it. Like the calculator, I think it's pretty accurate. We have a few contractors that use it. They love it.
It's really good. Yeah. It's not giving you, like, if the calculator spits out and says it's going to be $15,337, that's not a guarantee it's going to be that.
No.
We try to get it within 10%-ish. So if it says 15, it's like, it's between 14 and 16, somewhere is where it's going to fall. But the nice thing about shopping in our store is we have so many different products for every budget that if it comes to 16, you want it to be 14, there's a tweak we can make, no problem. We can work with literally any budget. We sell people materials that for $1,000 decks and $100,000 decks out of the same store. It's all in stock. It just depends on which things you're choosing. And our sales teams are experienced enough and know enough that they can still get you what you need, check off your wants and desires with the product that's going to work for you and get it within your budget. So
that's why we offer so many products.
Right.
So
that's 10 good reasons to get into the stores now. If you're not in Saskatchewan, then go to whatever store you want to shop at, whatever.
Sure, they'll help you.
Right. Or go to our website and start there. Anyways, the point is there's a lot of reasons to start doing this now and not waiting till the season breaks because it's just so much more stressful and hectic.
For everybody.
Waiting for spring. For
you and us.
You, us, the contractor, the bank.
Everybody, right?
So not leaving it to the last minute.
A message in the live feed. So Scott, USMC Sheffield, asks if I go ice fishing at this time of year, like it's warming up. So he is from Texas. He's terrified of the idea of driving a truck on the ice. And so him and I send pictures all the time. I was out at Kenosee last year and I sent a picture of like all the ice shacks and all the trucks. And I was like, look, it's like a village on the lake because it's frozen. It's so thick. There was like 2.5 feet ice last year. This year, the ice is not very thick.
This year is a little bit more sketchy for sure.
And so there was a video of a truck that had fallen through. It was an F-350 that had fallen through the ice. It was completely gone, but like you could see the tailgate, whatever, a foot under the water. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's not that scary. It's only 21 feet deep there because the truck was like nose down. I was like, it's okay, Scott. Like you could swim out of that. No problem. And he was like, no way. Like there's no chance that I get into a truck and go on a lake with you. So he was like, do you ice fish in that? Levi comments and was like, oh, Wade isn't allowed to ice fish. So obviously Levi doesn't have the update. I do have Levi. I see where this is going. I do have my fishing license. So in the summer, I got caught with too many fish, and I fought it in court. I went to court 2 different times, and I ended up actually winning because the fishing guide that the prosecutor tried to use to prove that I had caught too many fish was dismissed by the judge. And then the judge was like, that's not valid. You can't use that piece of paper. And then the prosecutor was like, well, then what piece of paper can I use? And the judge was like, I don't know, but you have to prove it. You have to prove what the limit is some other way. And I was just sitting there and was like, Wade, this is a moment where you just don't talk.
Yeah.
Just sit. Just sit and do nothing. And the judge was like, do you have anything to add? And I was like, nope. He was like, okay, you're free to go. And I stood up and walked out of there.
So wasn't the story that
I'll be fishing.
You had stuck to the limit as you understood it, but that lake you were on was actually a restricted lake, which meant you were only allowed to catch half as many as the normal amount.
Correct. Yeah. So the legal limit in the province is 4 walleye, and I had caught and kept 4, but there was a restriction on that lake. You were only allowed to keep 2. So the fine was $480 and a 1-year suspension on your license. And I argued with the conservation officer at the time that I wasn't I did break the law. I had more fish than I was supposed to on that lake. But I was like, there was nothing that indicated that there was a change or that there was extra special rules on that lake. And I was like, at the boat launch, you should have something that says, check your angling guide. There's
restricted lake.
Yeah. Or there's something different here, right?
Progress right now, whatever. Yeah.
And so there was none of that. And so I felt like they should have done a better job of informing me.
Yeah.
Turns out as a wildlife enthusiast or a hunter or whatever,
you should seek out the rules.
You need to find the rules. Ignorance is not an excuse, right?
Yeah.
But I argued lots of points, but it was like, we're at a point in society where you're not even allowed to assume that coffee's hot anymore. You have to be told. And so I was like, if the province doesn't tell me that the rules are different, how could I know?
Yeah.
So anyways.
Well, there you have it. If you're going to build a deck, do your research. If you're going to go fishing, do more research. We're heading to IBS here in, less than 4 weeks away. So we're a quick in and out, 27th to 29th. We're going to be down there.
It's a super speedy trip.
So that'll be really good. And then our stores, we're holding an event called Tuds X. It is a contractor expo in our stores, March 5th in Regina, March 7th in Saskatoon. These are going to be fantastic. So if you're local to the province and you can make it and you build decks or patios or fences or pergolas, you're going to want to be there. It's an all-day event. We're going to feed you and drink you breakfast and lunch. You're going to sit in, listen to some speakers in different areas of business. So marketing, sales, mindset on growing your business, and some vendors doing presentations on new products you're coming out with. So that's the speaker's corner portion of it. And then in the trade show part of it, which is where you escape to during breakfast, during lunch, and at the end of the day, you go into the trade show area, and we've got vendors, 13 vendors representing probably about 20 to 25 different product lines.
Yeah.
Set up to do a little mini trade show that you get a chance to talk to the vendor, learn about new products, see the products firsthand, get signed up for the contractor programs, learn the details of the contractor programs, and explore our stores at the same time. It's going to be a fantastic event. There's also a ton of swag and prizes and big time discounts on building materials through our store just by attending. It's free to attend. You just have to be a contractor to sign up.
I think there will be a ton of value in that.
Yeah.
So
go to tuds.ca/tuds-x for more information on that and to register. It is limited seating because it is being held within our stores, so we don't have unlimited seating. We got to keep it within fire regulations and physical space that we have. So sign up and take care of that. Then we're also at the Saskatoon, I can't remember which order these happen in, but Saskatoon Gardenscape Show. I think that's the first one.
I think
that's not true. No, I think Saskatoon Homestyles is the first one.
Yep.
Then I think it's the Regina Spring Home Show and Saskatoon Gardenscape on the same weekend.
Yep.
And that's all happening in March as well.
We got a busy. We have a busy couple months coming up, buddy.
So holy smokes! So if you guys are around local to Saskatchewan, lots of places to find us.
And then in June, I'm going to Montana.
Are you? Oh, is that where the next archery challenge is?
So they released the list, and it's, they have it in like whatever 13 different locations, but we think we're going to go to Big Sky, Montana this year instead of Utah. Okay. And so I was talking to Levi. He was such a great host that Tyler and I were like, we were just saying we should just go back to Utah. Like, it was so awesome. Yep. Levi and his buddies were fantastic. The shooting was great. Blah blah. Then we were like, well, that didn't work because our one friend from Regina is getting married on July 26th, and so the event in Utah is up till the 21st. And he was like, I can't do it that close to my wedding.
Who's this?
Tyler Hubbard.
Oh yeah, okay.
Not the country singer.
Yeah,
it was the same name,
different
right?
One. Yeah.
So anyways, we told Levi we were going to go to Montana, and he was like, yeah, sounds good. I'll latch onto my trailer and I'll come there. I'll bring like 2 of my buddies from Utah and I'll meet you in Montana. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
So
speaking of same name country singers,
you need to shoot a bow so you can join us, and then we could write this whole thing off. They're all contractors, and you're there.
All right. Sounds good.
I'll get you
Train me up.
Done. I'll sell you mine.
You called me with an insurance guy yesterday that you said was from Estevan.
Yeah,
by the
Chris
name of Chris
Kozak.
Henderson. Oh, I swear you said Chris Henderson.
Chris Kozak from Henderson Insurance.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense.
Like, he was friends with Tyler Selk.
Yeah. So I heard Chris Henderson.
Oh, no.
Which is the name of a guy that is a musician, country singer from Estevan, that Justin McCrae used to work for us has played with before.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I thought that's who I was talking about.
That's fun.
It's a good thing I didn't bring that up then. It would have been like, no, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay, lots to do at the Ultimate Deck Shop in the coming months and weeks here. So for the rest of you that are not from here, too bad, so sad. Move to Saskatchewan. This is your only reason. Have a great week. We'll see you at IBS and all the other events we got going on. Peace.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships, or tell us if you want to collaborate. Let's go. Check us out on any social networks. Thank you for listening.